What's good, you guys? You know who it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Relentless Lex, and I'm back like I never left this mother. Yes, sir. All right, man, we got a little Boosie. He's checking DL Hughley for fucking with Katt Williams. Bro, this is crazy. Boosie said he want all the smoke with everybody, even comedians, man. Let's get to it. Spicy.
Nothing, how many he would have had? Wake up and smell a coffin, man.
Well, that was Boosie seemingly going off on DL Hughley for not being the most upstanding person in the industry. As for why he was so upset, let's just say he was doing it in support of someone he believes in.
Been told y'all. I can't talk right now. I'm on live.
The reason this is even coming up now is that Hughley seems to have taken a new interest in coming after Monique.
Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something.
Turns out the only person she's been complaining about is DL Hughley, and Boosie seems to think more people should be on her side.
If the people who felt like I felt, all these spoke up and said something, the narrative would start changing.
And just like them, Monique also won't be backing down.
The name DL Hughley.
Yep.
And until he take accountability, I won't let it.
DL Hughley is easily one of the most successful comedians, or I dare even say in showbiz as a whole, because not a lot of people have had a comedy tour that made their career, but that's where things kicked off for him. Even with this level of success, it seems the comic isn't above getting checked, as Lil Boosie and Katt Williams are now on the front pages calling him out for some of his recent claims. At first, it seemed like a joke, because these people are some of the top names in their industry, and we all know how famous people like to get together. But Boosie and Williams seem to be dropping all their history so Hughley doesn't get their message twisted. If you've been following the news over the last couple of weeks, you'd probably have an idea of why DL is being called out by these fellow giants. What makes it surprising, though, is that it's come this soon. Now, for Boosie's part, most of us know he likes to jump on issues with his live talks, as he's already done for virtually every kind of headline, including politics. Now, it involves someone in his line of work that he might have even shown support for in the past, so there was no way he wasn't bringing the big guns to Hughley's lawn. Katt Williams' case, on the other hand, seems to be slightly more personal, because not only has the person this whole fight is about supported him expressly, but she literally followed his footsteps by speaking her truth on the very same platform he did. So tell me, in what world would he not have her back? If you haven't figured out who this whole thing is about by now, let me just break the ice and tell you it's Monique. Now, just like each of these people being talked about here are individually known for speaking their mind, they are also known to be very headstrong over what they believe. Boosie and Williams believe Mo's stories, but where DL Hughley comes into this whole equation is that he's repeatedly maintained that Monique may have not been telling the entire truth of the things she's been speaking about. Doesn't seem to be sitting too well with Boosie and his seeming current partner Katt Williams. Again, one of the main reasons this has come as such a shock to so many people is that all these very successful people seem to have once in the past had relationships. But all that just went down the drain with zero possibility of things ever getting fixed. You know how I know that? If you heard what these stars have said to each other in the last couple of hours, you'll probably see it too.
A lie he told. You see what I'm saying? So even if I made it deceitful and I made you think that the answer is over here, but the answer is really over here.
From the outside, it may be easy to think everyone has a lovey-dovey relationship in the entertainment industry, and they usually do, but at times they have issues. Things tend to get out of hand. Now, we're at a point where Boosie and Williams are hot on Hughley's tail, seemingly to the extent of calling him out on live. But how did things even get this far? It all started when Monique and Hughley drew their battle lines. Something DL seemed to have highlighted even more after his comments on her most recent interview appearance. Per the news, DL Hughley has given his take on Monique after the Oscar winner appeared on Club Shay Shay on Wednesday, and it's probably safe to assume that the feud has reignited between the two comedians.
We played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that she said she got off, she called me. Monique did, and she said I was very dismissive, like, Monique's a liar.
In a 4-minute Instagram reel, Hughley ripped into Monique, making allegations that the actress-comedian has an estranged relationship with her family and keeps her husband, Sidney Hicks, on her payroll. Well, Club Shay Shay is getting messier and messier, Hughley began. It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go nowhere. She just got a weight set. He continued, every time I see Monique these days, she's doing some greasy video with her and her daddy, complaining about something. After making an unprovoked joke about Monique's weight, Hughley brought up Monique's discussion on Club Shay Shay about visiting Hughley's radio show, where she was offended by his co-host. At the time, Hughley wasn't in the studio, but Monique claimed that she called him after the uncomfortable situation. Monique's a liar, Hughley said. When Monique did call me, I hear her complaints, I listened to her, and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't, because I respected her wishes. She's a liar.
Befuddles the how somebody who has a comedian talks as much everybody else as she does, she has the temerity to be offended about anything as much as you say about people?
Hughley doubled down, bringing up their past contract dispute, and claimed that it rattled his family. She knows the story, but what she did in response to that, she talked about my dog, my wife. This broad even brought out my daughter's personal trauma. My daughter was med, and Monica brought that out.
The biggest mistake is saying yes to you. I should have said no when you couldn't come on my radio show. I should have said no that I wasn't playing those dates with you.
Fueling his point on how he believes her to be bitter, Hughley claimed that Monique is estranged with her children and grandchildren before further airing out her professional life. You know what else you won't see Monique doing? Telling jokes, he said. Monique, if she were to spend as much time actually writing jokes and writing her Netflix special as she did complaining about not having one, it wouldn't have been trash. It got the worst reviews of any Netflix special in history because that's what Monique does. She complains and she has grievances.
Those date with you. As a matter of fact, almost anybody who says yes to you at some point is in this milieu with you. Almost anybody. So I would suggest anybody out there, you can say yes to drugs, say no to Monique.
Claiming that the Baltimore native is never sweet.
Wow, DL. Come on, my boy. DL said you could say yes to the drugs, but no to bro, what kind of statement was that, bro? That's crazy. That was some suckers.
And warm to people.
I tell you.
Hughley alleged that Monique is an opportunist who's only kind to butter somebody up to get something. There's a reason why everywhere she goes, it starts, he said. Although Hughley and Monique's dispute has been long-running, Boosie seems to believe what she said on the show. See, the basis of some of the things Monique said runs deeper than just her complaints, but something people as a collective face in the industry, which is why Boosie was on her side.
Monique been telling y'all, black women are being underpaid. She been telling y'all black women are being underpaid.
Last month, Taraji P. Henson got emotional during her interview with Gayle King, reflecting on being underpaid throughout her decades-long career. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over, she expressed. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot. I have to. The math ain't mathing. Since the interview, several of her peers have chimed into the discussion, including Chance the Rapper, Keke Palmer, and of course, Monique. Earlier this week, Boosie Badazz took to Instagram Live to share his thoughts, noting that power comes in numbers. In a new clip, the Louisiana-born rapper describes how black women have been underpaid for some time, while Henson's comments have simply gotten people to pay attention. Now everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, he explained. It's starting to be a reality.
But when people start opening their mouth up, it becomes reality.
Mo Nike been told y'all, he also added. They paid Brad Pitt $25 million and gave her $150K, but when people start opening their mouth up, it becomes reality.
Wow.
Power comes in numbers.
$25 million?
Monique has been a vocal proponent of black women getting paid fairly in the entertainment industry for years. Back in 2022, she sued Netflix, accusing the streaming service of offering her far lower than they paid her white and male counterparts for a comedy special. Something DL Hughley seems to believe is just Monique complaining about everything in her life, hence the men standing up to him. As for why it is Katt Williams who's joining Boosie on this journey, let's just say both men have a history of supporting each other, and it runs all the way back to Boosie being in prison, and Katt shocked him. That's right, Boosie Badazz nearly choked up when he recalled how comedian Katt Williams gifted him thousands of dollars shortly after he got out of prison and desperately needed a break.
Bro called me to his show, and when I was leaving his show, I thought he threw me some weed in the car because it was wrapped up in a towel. But it was $15,000, bro.
Boosie continued to say, I really needed the money at the time, and I wasn't staying nowhere. I mean, I was staying at a hotel with my kids in downtown New Orleans. I didn't even have nowhere to stay yet.
Who did something for me, brother? I get emotional talking about it, bro. I really needed it at the time.
Many fans who applauded Williams for his candid interview on Club Shay Shay fawned over Williams anew after Boosie's testimonial about the comedian's character, outside of Williams and Boosie lending their voice into Mo's fight. Seemingly against DL Hughley, the latter's grievance is actually much more complex than just the payment disparities issue. In the podcast, which is now one of the most talked about thing in the news, the Precious Star explained the origins of her feud with the radio host, which escalated after the Oscar winner dragged DL Hughley's daughter into it.
And there's a brother named DL Hughley.
Yep.
And until he take accountability, I won't let it go.
The public beef between the duo began in May 2022 when, during a stand-up performance, Monique blasted Hughley over a contract dispute over who was the rightful headliner of a live comedy show in Detroit. The Precious Star claimed that according to the contract she signed, she was supposed to be the headliner, but Hughley allegedly refused to perform if she was the headliner of the show. Hughley denied the allegation. Shortly after the duo began taking shots at each other, the feud got progressively ugly in June 2022. Amid their ongoing feud, Monique dredged up an old interview where DL Hughley allegedly refused to believe that his own daughter, Ryan Nicole Shepard, was attacked, which is how the young lady was dragged into this whole thing. She seemingly equated it to her trauma where she, as a black woman, was not believed when she spoke up about her trauma. In an Instagram post back in 2022, the Precious Star posted a clip of Hughley's confession and wrote, "When my husband and I say we have to fight for the little girls coming up behind us, and you see DL didn't believe his own daughter over a friend because he seemingly likes his friend more than he loved his own daughter and didn't want to be bothered by the inconvenient truth. This highlights why the black woman isn't believed when she publicly speaks about her trauma." Shortly after Monique referenced the comedian's daughter in their ongoing feud over the contract dispute, DL Hughley and his daughter both blasted the Oscar winner over weaponizing their family's past traumas. On that note, Monique said it was Hughley just blaming her for his own shortcomings in protecting his family. She said, "DL Hughley, that's your conscience talking to you, brother. I never said that," she stated. "And I want to be clear about something else. Never would I try to do anything to harm any of your bees because we got bees too."
You did a post about, you did an interview about. I didn't do that interview. I simply reposted what you said.
That wasn't the only thing the singer revealed about the whole issue with Hughley. The comedian discussed her issues with Hughley on the podcast, prompting him to respond in a lengthy Instagram rant. According to Hughley, he pulled a segment of his show after Monique complained his co-hosts offended her. He claims this proves he wasn't dismissive, as Monique alleged in her interview. Then, last Thursday, Monique took to Instagram Live alongside her husband, Sidney Hicks, to address the fallout from the interview. Despite Hughley's claims, Monique insisted he only pulled the interview because she threatened legal action. So you see, even before Boosie and Katt Williams came to her rescue, Monique was already doing a swell job fighting for herself. To add fuel to the fire under DL Hughley, fans seem to be flocking to Monique's back, not just because they believe her story, but because they generally think less of him. One of these fans wrote, "I'm sorry, but if anyone thinks DL Hughley has clean hands after the other kings of comedy have been exposed as thieves, grifters, and deceivers, you deserve it. Birds of a feather flock together."
That's what they say.
Looks like it'll take more than calling her a liar to turn the people against her,
Dang.
especially since they already believe him to be sketchy. That's it for this video. Good.
Man, bro, DL Hughley. bro, your time is coming up next, man. Monique is exposing everybody. Katt Williams, bro, it's a good thing that shout out to Monique and shout out to Katt, bro. And shout out to Club Shay Shay for giving them the platform to speak their truths. Now, DL, if you don't even believe your own daughter after the attack, bro, that shows you right there as a man, DL. Bro, your daughter bro, I can't even imagine being in that situation and not believing my daughter, bro. That is crazy. So I'm going, bro, anything Monique says about DL, I'm going to believe it, bro, because the simple fact of the matter is your own daughter can't even get through to you. And that's just crazy.